This podcast is brought to you in part by Dragon Shield. Use code PLAYTOWIN5 at the affiliate link down below for 5% off to help support the show.
Welcome to the Play to Win podcast, a show about hot magic cards and even hotter wings. I'm Cam.
And I'm Dylan. This week we are celebrating the 100,000 of you watching this show. We did a 1K/2K Q&A when we had 1,000 subscribers, doing a Hot Ones thing. Now that we have 100,000 subscribers, we're going to do a Hot One things again.
Exactly. We need two more. As of the time of recording, we still need two more.
We're literally going to hit 100,000 subscribers as we're recording, which is not planned out. That's just how it's working with our schedule. We have some questions from our patrons, right?
That's true, yeah. We asked on Patreon for some questions that we asked, and then I printed them out on paper and cut them up and put them in that
They're in
box.
this Dragon Shield deck box, which is great for so many things, like putting your cards in and also questions.
Shoving a bunch of pieces of paper in that have questions on them.
So you loosely know what these questions are.
Yeah.
I tried to not look at them because I kind of wanted to be surprised.
What you'll see is at the top, the first line is going to be the patron name, so you should say who asked the question.
Got it, yep.
And then the question.
Fine. We have 10 hot sauces here. We got some wings. I have some vegan wings here. Cameron decided he didn't want to eat chicken, but he got French fries instead. So it's not exactly like the hot ones. You'll have to bear with us on that.
Well, I Googled to make sure that do French fries ruin the integrity of doing a hot sauce test? And if it was a blind test, it might.
Because there's not as much flavor on your fries, so you'd be able to pick up individual flavors of the hot sauces easier.
Yeah, they're known for their natural, slightly salty flavor, which could be good as a blank canvas for hot sauce.
Okay. Yeah, my wings, I didn't quite fully realize. They have a little bit of spice on them already. I already ate one of them. They're really good, but they already have a little bit of kick. So it'll be fine. It'll be good. We have buffalo. First one. We have buffalo wing sauce. Put some on your fries over there.
So yeah, I'm going to put some on a fry.
I'll ask you a question first.
And you're not allowed to answer this question. This is just a question for me, right?
Just for you. First one is a blank piece of paper.
Oh, yeah. There's two blanks in there.
A couple wild cards thrown in there.
I had the big...
Gotcha. There's nothing in that one.
Psych. I can't believe you pulled that one out first. That's so
You got
funny.
me. You really got me. This one's from Cardina. When do you decide your deck needs a change / you need a new deck altogether?
Great question. Normally when I start not being able to win games with it.
How many games do you lose in a row before you go, all right, something's got to give?
Something around, it's normally around 10, I would say. Normally around 10, I think is I gotta eat this.
Oh yeah, eat the wing.
Yeah.
That's the whole part of
it. Normally 10 is around the number that I get to until I'm like definitely ready to swap out. If I can't get a win, or if I get a win and it doesn't feel like it's deserved, I will still count that as a loss.
Yeah, okay, like someone made a mistake or something just happened where...
Or if I feel like I did something that...
got lucky.
Yeah, that either got me lucky or maybe like it's because of politicking. Like, I don't like that as a reason for my deck being good. Like, I want me to be good. I want my deck to be strong without me having to say a lot of words.
That's fair. That's
to my opponents, and like have to have my opponents not catch on to what I'm doing either.
Yeah, that makes sense. Some commanders, I feel like that's part of it, is like you kind of almost need to be able to politic, but I get what you're saying there. Like if you win off of the back of politicking, to you, that's like the deck isn't as strong as you want it to be. You don't want to have to politic.
Yeah, because I don't want to have to rely on me like that. I want to rely on the cards doing well. I don't want to have to rely on like me saying the right things. If I won the last game with the deck, I can't play the deck again and have everyone go, oh yeah, well we can keep listening to Cam that same way. People are going to catch on to what you're doing. So it's only a short-term game. So
I'm going to have a bite of my buffalo wing.
Yeah, take a bite of your buffalo wing as I ask you this. George Ganny says, what do you think Reanimator needs to become truly viable as a main strategy in CEDH as opposed to a secondary option?
A target that's good enough?
Well, what does it just need to become? Or I guess, yeah, that's what you think, a target that's good enough.
It needs something that's good enough. Razaketh is pretty good. Hoarding Broodlord is also pretty good, but not quite there. The reason why Reanimator is often good is because not only after you reanimate your target and you maybe draw a bunch of cards or get a bunch of resources, but your opponents are also just like normally dead on board. In 1v1, a big flying 7/7 is good enough to kill your opponents, even if you can't win via a combo or something like that. Whereas in CDH, if you make a 7/7 and your combo part doesn't go through yet, your 7/7 is no pressure at all. So you would need like a reanimation target that is like powerful enough to take over the game singularly on its own. And that creature would have to be like way too strong to be able to be printed.
Do you think Gristlebrand could be that creature?
Gristlebrand might be that creature. Gristlebrand might be that creature in the fact that although, yes, Hoarding Broodlord does allow you to pseudo get Peer into the Abyss, Gristlebrand, I think, is still better than a Peer into the Abyss, and then you don't have to play Peer into the Abyss in your deck.
Because you don't have to pay 7 mana for it. I guess that's really the good thing.
Yeah, you don't have to find this thing, the sacrifice to make the mana, whereas Gristlebrand could just button. You could draw a whole bunch of cards and probably get there. Gristlebrand might be what it needs to be. If Gristlebrand got unbanned, I probably think it would be, I don't know, I got to imagine a Gristlebrand deck could be a tier 1 deck, right?
It would certainly be way better than what anything else.
It'd be better than Ad Nauseam right now. Ad Nauseam, honestly, is not even that great right now. Necropotence is much better suited, but if their Gristlebrand got into play and we were allowed to reanimate a Gristlebrand, then maybe that's something. So yeah, that'll be my final answer if we got a Gristlebrand. I'm gonna finish up this wing with the sauce.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm gonna put the lid back on the buffalo sauce because I'm watching it shake as we talk, and I'm like,
I watched the fear in your eye as you were looking.
Oh, you did see that? Okay, good.
This one is good. It's not that spicy.
No, it's not that
spicy.
Just a starter, yeah. I'm going to try to load up my fries a little bit more than that one.
Dump them, yeah. These are all hot sauces from my collection. I think that they are organized in the order of spiciness, but I'm not positive, and I haven't touched them in a while. But I know these next 5 are sauces that I consider to be kind of spicy, and then the final 4 are very spicy.
What do you think of hot sauces in general, Dylan? How are you with hot sauces?
I love hot sauces. I obviously have so many here. How was that one? Was that coming out enough? That was a little bit of a weird one.
A little bit, yeah. It doesn't look like it's covered. It's a very light one, but I got
give the bottle a good shake first.
Oh no, I didn't.
Maybe give the bottle a good shake to make sure you get the right goods on it. Oh, I should pick out another question for you.
Yeah, pick out a question for me. But hold on, let me get this again.
Yeah, and make sure that it's in your mouth when I'm asking you the question.
Oh, here we go. Okay, I'm getting a little
bit more green on this one. Yeah, this one's the first and only green sauce. Everything else is red.
Okay, I don't really like peppers in general, so.
Latlark63 asks, what are your most memorable decks from playing Commander?
Oh, my most memorable decks from playing Commander. That's a good question. Weirdly enough, I think Selvala is one of them. I'm trying to think of like
Green Selvala?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like the decks I played over the years on the channel that are the most memorable to me. I think Mono Green Selvala is one of them just because of how much fun I had playing it for the first time.
Really? I didn't even know that about you.
I don't even know that I knew about that about me.
That's just the one that's coming to mind now?
Right now, that's the one that's coming to my mind. Because you just had a green
hot sauce.
It might be. There's a lot of things that are kind of culminating with that. Yeah. I don't necessarily look at decks nostalgically, more in CEDH, more as I've looked at cards nostalgically.
Oh, okay.
And things that I want to play because a lot of the time I've really liked the 4-color like Thrasios and like 4-color Tymna builds, and there's like a couple of other like decks that I'm playing right now that I've liked more than a lot of other stuff that I've played in the past, if that makes sense.
Okay,
like,
so you're on some of your most favorite decks right now.
Right now, yeah. And the question it was what exactly?
Oh, I have no idea. What
some
are
of
your
my
most
more memorable ones?
Memorable decks from playing Commander. Could be casual.
It could be casual too.
I mean, right? Commander casual is part of Commander.
Nah, I feel like memorable implies that there's some sort of positive memory that's associated with them. So I think I have to stick on the
CEDH.
Yeah, I think I have to stick on the CEDH side for most of it.
Okay, good.
But yeah, I would say Mono Green Selvala, and then the stuff that I'm playing now will be memorable once I'm off of it. Memorable also implies that it's in the past.
Selvala was your answer, though.
Selvala, yeah. Right now, it's Mono Green Selvala.
I'm gonna have a bite of this wing with the golden ghost on it that you've just had.
The golden ghost, yeah. And I'm gonna ask you this question right here. Okay.
That was That one has a little bit.
It does have a little bit of a kick, yeah.
It definitely says.
Felt that way more than the buffalo sauce ever would, yeah. This is from Insomnia. What is the most wild game you've ever had? Who was playing? What were they playing? And would you ever consider recreating that pod for like the channel or something?
I feel like Insomnia has something specific in mind. My brain doesn't really categorize the games like that. It categorizes like actions and moments a little bit more. So I don't know if I could bring one up. But like you, I'm kind of what's in the present right now. We just played a couple games against Reversal Wizard playing Zuluduk as the CDH commander.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. If that deck can live till turn 4, I think there's something there with that. It did some pretty incredible things, kind of just out of nowhere. But also in the same pod, I had 2 turn wins with Rogsai, and that's pretty memorable. I remember those pretty good. So any of like the really early wins, those are the ones that I guess stick in my head most, which is right now, Rogsai are the ones that come into mind. I remember a game on Scry Babies. That was the question, right? Are you double checking them? Am I going off on a tangent?
I am, yeah.
What's the question?
What was the most wild game you've ever had?
I'm going to give a final answer on Scry Babies. I had a game where I was playing Rogsai. You were there, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I
And
remember
had like
this
a turn
one
one
very well.
I had a turn one Jessica's Will, and normally turn one Jessica's Will is like it whiffs a decent amount of times and you reveal bullshit. But this particular time, it revealed a time twister. I had an LED, and I was able to win on turn one off of a Jessica's Will with Rogsai. That was probably my most memorable one. I just like finished on Breach. I don't really remember the middle parts of it. I remember I finished on Breach. I remember I had turned one Jessica's Will into Time Twister, cracking an LED, and had a bunch of mana. So that's gonna be my most memorable one.
That's a good choice. That's a good choice. I like that a lot.
I have extra of the buffalo. I'm gonna have some of that.
Do that while I'm getting out the habanero hot sauce Espana.
Oh, this one's from my dad. My dad gets me this like case of hot sauce every Christmas.
Okay, yeah.
And this one is one of those from that. So shout out Dave. Thanks, Dad.
I got a little bit of it on here. That sounds
Make sure
good.
you get a lot of it on there.
I got enough for me
enough?
that I'm gonna hate myself.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
This one's from KCW. Make sure you really include us eating too in the reactions.
Yeah. I opened the milk. I haven't drank it yet, but
I'm going to try to not touch my water for as long as possible. What's the line between a deck being off meta in quotes, off meta enough to take advantage of Brewer's advantage, as opposed to simply running too many bad cards? What is the line between a deck being off meta and just being too many bad cards?
I think this one's less spicy than the Verde sauce.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah.
that might be true. I might have them a little out of order.
But there's
Did you give
nothing
this
wrong
one a
with
shake, or you just get the liquid?
No, I just got the liquid. Maybe
You got to do it again and you got to give it a shake, I think, because sometimes the spice, it gets all lodged at the bottom. So you've just had the little oil bits on top, perhaps.
Okay.
But I also might have gotten it wrong.
We hit it. 100,000. Fuck yeah!
That's incredible. Okay,
Oh,
wow.
that's sick. Well,
Take a screenshot. Take a screenshot.
I have to. Oh yeah.
Where's my phone? Hold on. Oh, I don't know where my phone is.
Oh, that's sick.
What's this question? Do we
I
get
hope
it?
someone doesn't. Okay, all right. We have one wiggle room now. So if someone unsubs, we have one wiggle room. Okay.
What was the question?
You asked me a question.
So then you have to ask me one now?
No, you have to ask me because I got. Okay, yeah. This is where the heat was. Yeah, you have to mix it up. Yeah.
You got it, yeah.
So what was that question?
What's the line between a deck being off meta enough to take advantage of Brewer's advantage as opposed to simply running too many bad cards?
Man, I don't know where that line is. The line feels very transparent to me, I think. I think that a lot of off-meta decks are naturally going to have too many bad cards in them. I don't even know that it's a line. I think it's more like a Venn diagram.
Okay, that makes sense.
Or maybe off-meta decks are just a subcategory of decks that just play too many bad cards in them. I don't think that there's a distinction between off-meta and a deck that might have to play too many bad cards, unless maybe off-meta is a deck that was previously good that is no longer good because it's just not a part of the meta right now, and like there's a reason why it's not strong. But
yeah, that makes sense.
I don't
to
even
me.
have an example of what that would be right now because all of the decks that are the best right now are decks that like only play good cards. Magda, maybe Magda.
An off-meta deck will never be one of the best decks, right? Just by the nature of what it is. Off-meta is not the best deck, but it's like I'm not supposed to answer this question.
So to me, no, you're allowed to chime in with like...
It attacks the meta. So I would say somewhere around when your cards are more often good than bad because of the meta.
Yeah, I would say that too. Yeah,
so your cards are good 51% of the time.
I don't think it's a specific line. Like I said, I think it's more of a Venn diagram. I'm starting to feel this.
I'm going to take a bite
A
of this
little bit
next
more,
one.
yeah, take a
That
bite
one was
of-
a little bit spicy, right?
Yeah, this one is a little bit more spicy. I think I might have to get into my milk soon.
This one's habanero hot sauce.
This is from Mike Brooks. The Command Zone recently did a deck building guide. They left out CEDH. What are your recommendations on the amount of card advantage, removal, and ramp in the deck building stages? Also, for CEDH, would you add any other categories? What other categories would you add?
What are the categories?
Card advantage, removal, and ramp.
Card advantage, removal, and ramp. Yeah, win conditions. Combo would be another one. Like winning, like Thassa's Oracle would have to go somewhere. As far as the numbers, I don't know. It depends on too many decks. I don't think there is an answer because if there was an answer, it wouldn't really be CDH. Competitive decks operate very differently from each other, and I would have to do some more thinking before I gave a real answer. But I would say probably at least half the deck should be mana. Not lands. Lands should probably be around 30 lands or less, but you should probably have around 20 cards in your deck that's mana. From the last time I counted, it's something ridiculous like that. Then most of the rest of it should be interaction and tutors. Tutors is another category. That's not part of that, right? So tutors in CDH, I feel like tutors is its own category, right? So there's mana, there's tutors, there's win conditions, there's interaction, right? Are those the four main categories?
Maybe synergy pieces is another category that I would consider because sometimes there's like one or two cards that I can't necessarily fit into one of those things just because like they work with my commander maybe.
I agree. Normally though, are you thinking like a dwarf and Magda? Because I would put that in mana.
You would put that in mana, yeah. And there's probably an excuse to go, oh, well, if it gives you a payoff, you should put the payoff in whatever category it is. Because the payoff is only going to be mana or cards or something like that.
But it really depends on the colors that you're in. Certain colors have a lot more access to good mana, and I would rather play good spells than force an amount of mana just to hit a quota. If you're not in good mana colors, don't force the mana if it's not there. Force cheaper spells or something like that. I think Yuriko is a good example of like, Dimir does have access to good fast mana, but it doesn't necessarily need it, so it instead of ramping, Yuriko just kind of like plays more small spells and stuff. The sauce is making. I don't even know where the question was.
I know. Anymore. I think that's part of why it's so hard.
That's the point of it.
Yeah.
Did I answer it? I feel like I got the question. Maybe.
Sure. Yeah. And if you didn't, then that's how it's going to come off.
All right. Great.
All right.
I should ask you another question here as you sauce up your win.
Yeah. Give me a second.
What do you got there?
This is Tunisia extra hot.
Okay. Tunisia extra hot.
I shook this one up.
Make sure. Yeah. Extra shaken.
Extra shaken.
Really coat it.
Not stirred.
Jacob K has a very long question.
Ooh, okay.
CEDH tournaments are getting bigger with bigger prize pools, but TEDH has some inherent limitations. What could be done to mitigate concerns with collusion and otherwise making plays without winning as the goal, e.g. spike plays? What other changes would need to be made for CEDH tournaments to rival Pro Tours? Slow play enforcement during endless politicking, overuse of intentional draws, and round lengths are some issues that I see holding TEDH back.
Yeah, I can see that.
You're getting the good questions. How's this one? Very spicy?
Yeah, this one's very spicy too, yeah. It's really hard because I don't know that a lot can be done about a lot of those inherent problems that CEDH tournaments tend to have. I feel like the meta needs to be in a different place in order for the time limit thing to not be an issue, because no one's trying to win quickly either, because of how the metagame is set up. Like the round time is definitely an issue. I'm forgetting a lot of the question because there's so much of it there.
What would have to be changed about tournaments to make them Pro Tour viable, basically, for CEDH? What would have to be changed about TEDH tournaments to make them Pro Tour viable in a sense that you wouldn't have to be afraid of collusion or anything like that? As much as we like to say that's not often an issue, it can be.
I think that's all part of CEDH. I don't think that you would want to take anything away to make it more of like a Pro Tour friendly format. This is CEDH. If it's not a Pro Tour friendly format, then this is just... I think that's just kind of what it is, right? Yeah, if this is not something that Wizards wants to showcase, which I think also is like kind of a situation where maybe they'll lose out then if they don't want this to be something that they want to do, because there's a lot of players that clearly like this aspect of Magic. I don't necessarily think that it's always a problem. I think these are aspects of CEDH that make them CEDH that we don't necessarily need to fix. This is just how the games are and how they go. But I will say I have been starting to think that, you know, we do say in CEDH no spite plays, but is threatening to bring the game to a draw a spite play, though?
Tournaments make it so different,
But
right?
because there's an upside, that's why it's not a spite play. But, like, at its core, it is. So that's why you don't see it in CEDH games. It just only happens in TEDH.
Pacting something, knowing that you're not going to be able to pay your pact to, it can be okay if you think it'll make the game go long enough in which there will be a draw. Because if there's a draw, you get the draw.
Yeah.
So it's now beneficial for you to do a spike pact.
But I would never do that in a game for the show.
Yeah, me neither.
I'd never do that for that.
It does make CEDH and TEDH different. I think you're completely right, though. I think if CEDH can't be a Pro Tour format now, though, you shouldn't change anything to make it a Pro Tour.
No, yeah.
I joke about how if, like, realistically, if you, like, needed to force that, no talking. That's the rule. Is make it like chess tournaments or something where you can only say the actions that you're taking, no politicking whatsoever. But I think that takes away a lot of the fun of it. So I think the alternative of just, like, accepting it, embracing it, and saying politicking is part of CEDH, is part of TEDH, and you all should know your opponents don't have your best interest in mind. Don't get got.
Yeah. I don't want to feel like I'm a machine. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm a cog in a machine that's just, like, pushing out what the software is telling me to, because that's how the game is supposed to go. Like, I like the idea that there are variables to it, because I feel like there is that in 1v1. There's a little bit of variability where you don't have to, even without politicking, like, you can still include variability based on, like, what cards do you see as threats versus what cards do you not see as threats, and you can still play your one opponent without politicking.
You can bluff just, them and stuff.
You can still bluff them.
Go to tap your mana and then not actually do anything. You can pick up the pen. Like, there are things that you can do that are like politicking, but not really.
It's just we don't call them politicking because you're not talking.
Right.
That's really it. Yeah. But it's just another non-Magic in-game strategy that you're using.
Mind games exist across all competitiveness. Mind games always are part of it. It's just your responsibility as another player to to not get got. Don't fall for it.
So the final answer is CEDH is Pro Tour ready because these are all aspects that are allowed in regular Pro Tour formats right now. Collusion might be the one thing, but again, like that's just again part of the format. It's still it's Pro Tour
Harsher
ready.
judge calls. If you see something like that happening, raise your fucking hand and say this seems out of line.
And there's a line between I want to bring the game to a draw and you win the game and give me half of the prize money, and like there's a clear line between those two things still.
Yes.
So
yeah, I agree. I'm gonna have a bite of the sauce.
I should ask you a question.
Tunisia extra hot.
Yeah, okay. Here we go. This is a question from Charles. What card is better between one ranked a deep sea blue and one ranked a freshly cooked fried chicken?
Which is a better rating?
Yeah, which card has a better rating?
What is it?
If you gave something a deep sea blue, or if you ranked something as a freshly cooked fried chicken.
Deep sea blue is far better, obviously. Deep sea
This
blue
is
a
a
5 out of
biased
5.
question
It's a biased question due to me
you.
being vegan.
Yeah.
Because if the fried chicken gets as a fat 0 for me.
Colors are better than foods.
No.
That's what that means. That's what this means to me. Because to me, if we're doing
Colors are better than meats.
colors are better than meats.
Yeah, any other good food in there? You got a little fried tofu?
So if we end up doing a food category for ranking, I won't include meats. I'll make sure that they're
for
all.
me, mine's gonna have to be jaded. If I'm ranking something honestly, from me as a person, and we're talking about foods, all the meats get 0. I'm sorry, no. That's just me.
right,
You're
yeah.
asking me the question. That's the answer I'm giving you.
I'm glad that I know that, so that as I set up future question and answer, or not question and answer. That's what we're doing now.
This one's called Hotter Than L.
Hotter than L.
Give it a shot.
Who's L?
You're about to find out. Here, can I have the box to ask you a question?
Oh yeah, here you go. I've not found a good way to do this. My dipping plate
my pool
is covered.
My pool is getting covered. I'm just suspending the object, then pouring and trying to do a little bit of a rotate.
Oh, okay, yeah. You have a thicker object than I do, though.
That's true. Yeah, I have a thicker object. Yep. I got a question for you from Ryan Murphy. Once you've made
I
your
also
object
figured
big
out
enough.
why people do chicken nuggets normally. It's because of how big they are.
It supports the sauce. A sauce on a fry feels like it is a little bit more of a drip off. Okay. Ryan Murphy wants to know, in what way does your local meta impact the way you see the overall meta in CEDH?
Oh, probably way too much.
Way too much, especially now that we've been doing CDH nights at Cloud City at the Palmer Mall every Tuesdays at 6 p.m. It's your question, but definitely a lot, right?
Oh, man, this sauce was definitely a lot.
Nice, we got you.
Holy cow.
Give it to me.
Yeah, probably way too much.
You already
Between
sure?
that and the games that we play on the channel, unfortunately, are the majority of CEDH games that I get to get in. So, a lot of times what I'm doing is weighing what I see online with the data that I get from playing in those games.
Play days too with patrons and stuff.
Oh, yes. Oh, boy, I need milk.
We got you on this one. Nice, you're dipping into milk. Make sure you get a close up on that future cam. Oh man, I might have to swap the battery for this.
Oh, wow, what a short temporary relief that is. Wow, I was only like the 5th one?
Yeah, that's pretty spicy. I'm gonna pause this real quick. All right.
Oh,
We get you?
Yeah.
Give me one. I want to experience what you're getting.
okay. Galbatrix says, what are y'all's process for choosing cards for metagame calls, especially for TEDH?
That one made me sweat in my ears right away.
Dude, I know.
Right away, the sweat developed in my
Yeah.
ears.
Oh.
What was the question again? I didn't hear you. The sweat filled up my ears.
How do you... Ah, my fucking God. What are y'all's process for choosing cards for metagame calls, especially for TEDH? Dude, I know. That was a huge leap.
Realistically, I don't. Oh, wow. Realistically, I don't make individual calls for a tournament because it's a singleton, and you have no idea what you're going to play against. I'll take a sip. I'll sip.
I got you too. Nice. All right, at least I feel like we're on the same page. Okay.
But I try to make I don't want to make calls on specific cards for specific formats. I want to make calls that's give me the best deck overall. But when in doubt, extra tutors are normally good.
Yeah, agreed.
That's my answer. Here you.
All right. Oh, God, we're getting into Ghost Pepper territory?
Yeah.
Elijah Extreme, father and son.
Yeah, the hotter than L one. That one that's a top shelf.
That is a top shelf, yeah. Oh.
I'm asking you a question.
Yeah, ask me something.
Benjamin Chrisman, worse or better?
My biggest issue with these is that I don't like the flavor.
Oh, yeah. As power creep gets more mad, more powerful, with each new set, how long do you think that we will stay in mid-range hell?
I don't know that power creep is going to affect mid-range hell too much. I think that power creep, if anything, would just end up getting us more into mid-range hell. Unless the power creep does something to affect card draw or heuristic study, I don't think there's a way that power creep gets us out of mid-range hell. I think that's a short answer, but that's my hot take.
Power creep will increase mid-range hell.
Yeah.
It's the reason. It's the reason for mid-range hell.
It really is. Like, all of the good stuff that we're getting are more card draw engines. So,
yeah, you're right. We haven't gotten new rituals that are really good in a while. So, and we got the rituals banned.
Yeah, exactly. And like Hull Breacher, I don't know. Like any other card that any cards I feel like actively help mid-range hell go away, I feel like we just ban. So, are you ready? Take a bite. I thought the other one was before that. Garrett Robertson has a long one. What are you guys currently playing in casual, and do you plan to do any more casual gameplay or podcast videos in the future once the bracket system is solidified towards the end of this month?
Edgar Vampires. I got Tovolar Werewolves. I got Bisa and Giralf Zombies. Mono Black Villas. Boros Equipment's Astor. And AC Lands. AC is pretty strong, but it's casual deck nonetheless. Villas is strong-ish. The other ones are specifically no combos and are a little bit less, but still Edgar and strong. Those are my decks, and I love them very much. Those are my 6 I'm sticking with for a while. But as far as more casual games on the channel, probably not unless we have a guest that really wants to play casual, and in that case, we're down for that. But just for our own stuff, I think we find that it's just more fun to play CEDH.
I like playing CEDH more.
Yeah.
And that question wasn't for me, but I only have one casual deck right now, too, so...
This one's not as hot as the last one. This one's hot, but not as hot.
No, hot, but it was definitely not as hot as the last one.
I'm going to take one more little sploosh.
My whole mouth was, like, completely obliterated.
I'm putting it on the top shelf.
Yeah.
What's this next one? The hot sauce.
Oh. This is the Bravado Spice, a.k.a. Miso Ghost Pepper Hot Sauce.
Ghost pepper.
The last one was Ghost Pepper, though, too. And I even got, like, a little nibble of a Ghost Pepper on it, it looked like.
Garrett Sargent has a question for you.
I'm not ready. Hold on.
When you're ready, he does. Not now, though. Garrett Sargent has a question for you when you're ready, is what I was going to say.
Oh, okay. Sorry. This one is fiery red. Oh, my God.
That's a good sign. What cards on the ban list do you think will be unbanned during the announcement, and what do you think will have the biggest impact? Are there any cards you're hoping don't get unbanned?
Ooh, I also do not like the taste of this one. This one is very hot.
It's getting closer and closer to poison.
Yeah.
The hotter you get, the closer it gets to your brain saying, wait a minute, is this actually poison?
So, I think Coalition Victory's coming off the list.
I think they basically said that.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm having a really hard time speculating what else they want to come off the list, because I don't really have an idea of what I think would be good to come off the list besides, like, maybe Iona, Shield of Emeria. Other than that, like, I'm actually pretty happy with where the ban list is, so I almost hope that not too much comes off.
I think you were right on Primetime being able to come off. You mentioned something like that earlier, and I was like, no, it can't. I think it could.
Because I don't think that it's gonna, like, overpower CEDH, that's for sure, Primetime.
Yeah, but I don't know that I think it would have a really strong impact on casual, right?
I could see you even wanting to play more clones in casual then to try to clone Primetime. I think it would end up having, like, a Dockside Extortionist effect.
But metagaming in casual feels insane. The pods are so drastically different,
That one just hit me, like, right
harder.
now, way harder.
Do you want to, can I?
After
I
drinking
all
milk.
right, let me
Yeah. Trenton Days says, as a former Sovala CEDH pilot, what do you think it would take for Mono Green to climb back into being a relatively viable deck? Or is it just too far gone?
Better interaction, right? It has the tutors. At this point, it even has card draw, I feel. It has mana for sure. Its interaction is not good. Its interaction is only protective and only artifacts and enchantments, which is like color restriction. Like, that's okay. But I think it just needs better interaction. A way to, you need, and in order for any of the mono colors to really step up, it needs either A, better interaction, or like a faster tutor. Sylvala, like, you need a different Sylvala that does what Magda does. Tap 5 elves and find something and put it into play or something. But it would either need that or, like, I think better interaction. That's the one thing that mono green kind of doesn't have, is like, you don't have ways to really, some stuff you just can't touch. You can't do anything about certain creatures. You can't do anything about stuff on the stack. And that's part of green's color identity, but that's what holds the color pairing back.
I'm not doing well after that one.
Oh, no. This one's called Scorpion Disco.
Oh, God. Oh, I need like a tissue.
The tissue. I don't have a tissue.
Blow my nose.
No, I think you have to let it well up for the camera. Give the people what they want. Yeah, we need that. We need the phlegm. Don't hide it. Let it come out. Let it flow.
My God.
Give me the questions.
I hate this.
Dude, it's only getting worse. But we only have 3 left.
When we need to get 1 million subscribers, we're doing something different.
This one's called Scorpion Disco. The next one, the bomb, that one is poison.
I remember that one being miserable.
Yeah, and then the last stab will be bad, but not as bad. Another blank. You fucking got
the other one.
You stinker.
The payoff is not as good when I'm in this much pain.
Okay. This one's from Brandon Gunton. I'm getting like a phlegm situation's falling down.
Yeah, I know. Me too. Hold up. I didn't shake it. I keep forgetting to shake.
We got to end on a very high note, so make sure you really dump this one on there.
We're not ending.
No, but we're in the last 3 laps. There's only 3 more to go. So 6 more questions. We're good, though.
It's not coming out.
The laptop is covering it a little bit. I want to see.
See me.
What?
I said see me.
Oh,
I said Siri.
Siri heard you. For all of you, what is the one thing you think you need to change to elevate your tournament play?
Oh. I have to be a better bluffer. I have to be better at talking. I have to. Oh, God. Get better at playing the hero.
Uh-huh.
I have to get better at, when I point things out, not feeling like I'm so scared of them. I have to try to show what I can do to help the table more. And I have to be believable. And I have to do it in a way where it doesn't feel like I'm taking advantage of people.
This question, it says, for all of you, what is the one thing? I think it's meant to ask all of this, but I'm going to take it as, what do you think the rest of Play to Win members need to do to up their tournament experience? So Tyler, Brandon, Nate, and me, what do we need to do?
I don't have a lot of feedback for Tyler.
Yeah,
he seems to do really well.
Yeah.
Brandon has to go to more.
Yeah.
Nate just has to have better impactful plays earlier on in the game.
Yeah.
Do more with his card advantage, I think. And then I think you have to not be so worried about how you're going to come off to the other players at the table.
Yeah.
I think that's your biggest flaw is
what people think of me.
Yeah, what people think of you.
You guys like me, right?
Yeah.
If I lose, will you like me?
They came to the Play to Win tournament. Yeah. They like you.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
I also know my biggest thing. I have to check the board more often. I need to just remember what's on board. That's one of my biggest feel like I fuck ups.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a bite of the Scorpion Disco.
All right, do that while SoCal Acura asks you, with many decks consisting of 3 or more colors and little to no basics, is there any competitive viability to cards like Back to Basics or Blood Moon, or does the presence of mana rocks make those types of cards obsolete?
I don't think that it's mana rocks per se. I think that stopping people in multiplayer is much worse than stopping people in 1v1, especially right now. All of my cards I want to impact me positively. I don't really want to be fucking with my opponents too much because I have found that, especially now, all the cards are so good, it's too risky. If you accidentally fuck over 2 people and not the third, you just hand the game to another player sometimes, and it doesn't actually help you win the game. It just slows your opponents down. So it's just a small piece of the puzzle. You need to have other things on top of it, and when you don't have those things, it sucks. So I don't think that it's necessarily the lack of basics that make those things bad. I think it's closer to the nature of multiplayer that makes stacks pieces that don't also help you win the game bad. So I think stacks pieces like Dothy Voidwalker or Opposition Agent, where these things stop your opponents from doing shit, but they give you the resource. These cards are very good in multiplayer. But now, things like, and obviously there are cards like Drannith Magistrate that just say no, that are still good enough. The effect is still good enough, but it needs to be very, very good enough, and I just don't think that this one is there for that. Partially because of the mana dorks and the artifacts. Ooh, my tongue is like, I feel like it's getting bigger.
How much milk do you have to drink before you get the shits?
But yeah, that's the answer to my question. The answer to your question. Thank you for asking it.
Okay. Oh, God. The bomb's next?
The bomb beyond insanity. I think this one's very good.
Not even the bomb. It's the bomb.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, dude. Oh, I'm so anxious about this.
The adrenaline.
I thought this was going to be such a fun idea.
It is fun.
Oh, I haven't even tasted it yet, and I'm already gagging. And I'm gonna throw up. I can tell.
Oh, if you throw up on camera, that'd be really good for views.
It's not really good for your floors, though.
Oh, I'm sweating. I have sweat. I feel like I need some more water right now.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to build myself up to get the courage for this. I'm having a really hard time. I really don't want to throw up, but I've gagged on the last bunch.
You won't gag on this one, I'm sure of it.
No, I won't.
It's gonna be fine. Daniel Kalihicki says, what's the happy balance between control, interaction, and win cons in your deck? I feel like some of mine have pieces that get me to a better place, but lose a little interaction of control. So I'm wondering if it's specific to a commander or if there's happy balance. This feels like similar to what we've had already.
Yeah, ask another one.
This one says, Jan Wildfang, give me your favorite German words.
Oh, Jan, I got you. I was hoping I would get this one. In a choir, we actually did a song in German. Warum ist das Licht gegeben dem Mühseligen und das Leben den betrübten Herzen? What? It means something about wherefore has the light that God has granted us gone or some shit.
That's kind of hard.
But yeah, the whole piece was in German, and we sung it at the World Choir Games in high school. It was fucking awesome.
That's incredible. Jan has follow-up questions.
Hit me. Jan had a bunch. I felt like I had to throw them in.
Melissa asked, how involved are your girlfriends/partners in the channel?
Ooh, okay. Not a ton. Courtney isn't really involved. Rachel has helped us with some feedback we've needed to get from her professional expertise.
Rachel's my girlfriend. She does marketing stuff. I ask her questions.
Yeah. My girlfriend's a scientist. I don't have any use for that.
I don't have any use for that.
I love her so much. That came off so rough because of how
She's just a useless scientist.
I'm sorry, Courtney, I love you, but like the sauce made me say it.
Favorite ice cream flavor?
Cookies and cream.
If you could only eat one condiment for the rest of your life, which would you choose?
None of these. None of these, that's for sure.
If Playdeman were a band, what are each members that everyone would play? What are the positions? What are the instruments everyone would play?
Well, a lot of us are musicians.
That's true.
So violin, for me.
Would be yellow card type of
Drums
thing.
for you, yeah, yellow card type of thing. Tyler would play cello. Brandon would be our bass player. And we would have Nate on guitar. That's what I would do.
Okay, yeah, I like that. No vocals.
No vocals. No, we're all instrumentals.
It's been a while, my old friend. How is it?
Torturous. But you were right. It didn't make me gag the way that the other ones did.
Oh, God, I put too much on. I know it. Oh, no, I got on the playmat.
Oh, no. At least it's the one to color in.
Just on the playmat. Damn. Yeah, that'll be on there. That's good.
All right. Ricardo Valencia says, with the doors open to non-fantasy settings in Magic, like Old Mafia, Cowboys, and Racing, what settings or top-down theme would you want WotC to do?
What was... What setting?
What other setting? Yeah. Like Old Mafia, Cowboys, and Racing. What other, like, non-fantasy setting?
Fucking, no. Knights and Dragons. That's what I want. Knights and Dragons is what I want. Give me Knights and Dragons. Like a specific IP? Oh, no.
Oh, did you just rub your eye?
The Matrix. But that's a specific IP.
Non-fantasy.
I don't know any other stuff. That's like not other IPs.
You only know fantasy.
I only can think of fantasy right now. Aliens. We're going to space, right?
Yeah, we are.
Aliens, I think, would be cool.
Aliens would be
Planet-consuming beings. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, planet-consuming beings. Or dragons.
Dude, I know. Eating more made it worse. All right, this is the actual Hot Ones sauce. This is the last dab.
Yeah. Woo! Woo! Give me the questions. My tongue feels numb.
All right. Man,
It doesn't hurt. I don't care.
I know, I say that, but I can last like 2 seconds.
I need more water. I don't have more water. Strawberry Milk says, what do you see as the biggest barrier to entry for CEDH?
Oh.
pause. Get it away. Get it away. You got this. Mind over matter. Throw up in the cup.
Okay.
Swallow it down.
Money. All right, pass.
Pass. What was the question?
Biggest barrier to entry.
Biggest barrier to entry for CDH.
I think cost.
Yeah.
For expensive stuff, if we're going to have WotC get more involved in CEDH and do non-proxy tournaments, it's going to be price.
Yeah. You're right. It's got to be the reserve list.
I have this fry pocketed in the side of my mouth because if it touches the back of my throat, I will throw up.
It's pocketed. That's so good.
And I can't spit it out because the act of throwing up will make me throw
You
up.
spit it out, it'll make you throw up. Okay.
All right, Ryan McGee says, any suggestions on how to change the mindset of a casual pod to be in line with that of a CEDH pod?
Yeah. This one tastes disgusting. No. Mindset. Yeah, I get what you want to throw up.
Yeah, it tastes so gross.
It's so gross. I'm throwing this one out.
Dude, the side pocket thing is great.
How to get their mind shift to change? Beat their ass. Beat them in Magic a lot and make them want it. Or find like-minded people. You don't have to play Magic with everyone. You don't have to play CH with the same people you play casual with. You gotta want it. I don't want to be there if you don't want to be there.
Yeah.
I don't care. I want to be there if you want to be there. So my real advice would be, if they don't want it, they don't want it. But convince them that if you got a love for the game of Magic and you want to get better at Magic, CH is a good way to do that. CDH forever. That's the end of my answer.
Thank you so much for watching.
If you like sports directly, you can do some Patreon, like our $100 patrons.
My stomach is so messed up.
Yeah, I'm glad we did this.
Eli the Magic Guy, David Newman, Pat Fire, Spengler, Demetrius Clark, Larceny Roy's, Your Boy Blue, Sparky B, Zunon, Insomnia, SC Phillip, Olden Groupie, Gecko21, Caleb Ritchie, Zach Hartley, Reactive, Sean in the Ice, Gare Bear Garrett, Luke Cook, Joshua Day, Demon of Rosgreaves, Peter Stewart, Cornell Wild, Uncle Butts, Nick Foles, Godo9, Kawaje, Hamid, Lauren Connell, Scott Hawk, and Baby G-Bus.
Go ahead and pick up any of our merch, PlayToWinMTG.com.
Thank you to Dragon Chew for supporting the show. Use code PlayToWin5 at our affiliate link for 5% off.
Follow us on social media for more content.
Thank you for watching.
See you next time.
I Heart DP.
Got you again.
Deadbeat Scott, Sarcastic, Roy Turner, Bill Bob, Mystic Muffin Man, Zachary Coulson, Jabaha, Mace the Ace, Dalton Poteet, Justin, Man Solo, Jan Wildfang, Thomas Bueno, and David Nelson.
Hit that button, YouTube. You know what to say, and we'll wing it. As per usual.
That was funny.
Wing. Man, we're good.
This is why we're getting 100,000 subs.